Off the glass, badly misses. You hear the groans from the crowd. He's hearing some boos.
Knowing kind of how bad you want this to work, how tough was it to spend overtime on the bench?
The best part about this game is you win. Guys competed, we won the game, and that's all that matters.
If someone's not playing well enough and they don't get to finish the game or they don't get to close the game out, there's nothing wrong with giving them that opportunity. And, hopefully the response is that that player plays better.
Frank Vogel, the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know if this was respectful or disrespectful because he didn't even refer to Russell Westbrook by name. Things are really looking horrible for the Los Angeles Lakers, and they appear to be stuck. They're doing their best to move on from what is supposed to be one of their best players, but unfortunately, they're just tanking his value more and more. We have a lot to get to in this video. We have an executive that speaks about Russell Westbrook's value, speaks about what the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to do with Russell Westbrook. We have an Athletic article to get to. So before we get to the content, consider subscribing, turning on our notifications, and dropping a like. And we're also giving away $500 to a follower on our Instagram page at TheFlightMike. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. This video is sponsored by Fetch Rewards. Fetch Rewards is an awesome application that allows you to earn rewards just from scanning your receipts. Anytime you make an online purchase or an in-person purchase, all you have to do is scan your receipt. You'll get points for those receipts, and those points can be redeemed for gift cards from Amazon and a bunch of other retailers. It's a great way to grind towards something that you wouldn't be able to typically afford by doing something that's fairly easy. And right now, when you use my promo code FlightMike, you'll get 3,000 points on your first receipt. That's promo code FlightMike for 3,000 points on your first receipt. And thank you, Fetch Rewards, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, when I watched the Los Angeles Lakers take on the New York Knicks, I must admit it was kind of bittersweet. I mean, don't get me wrong, Los Angeles Lakers won, but they didn't do so in the fashion that I'd hoped that they would do. One of the most viral moments of this entire game was when they displayed this graphic towards the end of the game, which is one of the most savage graphics I've ever seen. As my buddy Dom2K said, the broadcast didn't need to post this, but it's really important that they did. Anthony Davis had a tremendous game, which was very inspiring for Los Angeles Lakers fans. LeBron James is like an ageless wonder. I am just shocked that he is playing the best basketball of his career at the age of 37. And then you have Russell Westbrook, who obviously he hasn't only been bad, but the demeanor that he displays whenever he's performed poorly isn't necessarily inspiring. If you recall, in the beginning of January, Russell Westbrook was famously quoted after a 9-turnover game saying, "I'm allowed to miss shots and I can turn the ball over too." We've also mentioned in the past that his mentality just seems to be absolutely off, saying that I think people are expecting me to have 25, 15, and 15, and that is not normal. And we've mentioned in the past that herein lies the problem. Russell Westbrook just sees the game through the lens of his own statistics. He doesn't see the game as a team sport. It was so embarrassing that Lakers fans were begging Russell Westbrook not to shoot.
Crowd kind of telling him no, and he missed it.
And the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers were able to beat the New York Knicks, who aren't having the greatest season either, might I add, is more of a testament to how bad the Knicks are, because the Lakers were practically playing 4-on-5 over there, which means the Lakers are in a very difficult situation. There is no question in our mind that they need to either trade Russell Westbrook or bring him off of the bench. And according to this NBA executive, he states that it's obvious that the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to move Russell Westbrook, which is damn near impossible because they know that that roster's just not working. The Lakers are stuck. It's not like you're in a situation where you were in last year where you could trade Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, or any other good role players to try to get another star or try to get another player. You literally packaged all those assets together and turned them into Russell Westbrook. It's like taking your entire bank account and investing it into a cryptocurrency that ends up tanking because you were either either investing in an influencer scam like Ice Poseidon's influencer scam, or you just got unlucky and the crypto market is depleted. You put all your eggs into that basket. You didn't diversify your portfolio. And in this instance, that's what the Lakers are going through because they don't have much else to give up except for Talon Horton-Tucker and Kendrick Nunn, who has yet to play for them this year. Bear in mind that Kendrick Nunn was who they spent their mid-level exception on. Now it gets even worse than this because Bill Oram of The Athletic does a deep dive on Russell Westbrook's problems, mentioning the 1 of 10 he shot from the field and the 5 points and 6 assists and 5 rebounds he had, the fact that Russell Westbrook missed some crunch time free throws, and the fact that he was getting booed after he missed jump shots. Now, if you remember, Russell Westbrook was benched against the Indiana Pacers and he was livid at the time, but this time it was a little bit different, which is something that I really appreciate because at least our head coach sees what the fans are seeing. Frank Vogel said that his decision to bench Russell Westbrook was, "I knew the ball was going to be in LeBron James's hands, and I felt like we were going to get more from a defensive perspective and off-ball action with Talon Horton-Tucker. So you just make tough decisions in the spirit of whatever the team needs to win a game." Now the good thing is, it seems like Russell Westbrook is starting to refine his approach, saying that he was in good spirits after the game. He was pissed off that he was benched against the Pacers, but he stressed that winning was all that mattered. Honestly, I think this is just stuff that he's saying because he knows the trade deadline's around the corner and he doesn't want to get traded to the Sacramento Kings. That's honestly what I'm thinking is going down here. Bill Oram says something that is very important though. If you've invested nearly $92 million in a player who can't be trusted to help you at the end of games against a lottery team like the New York Knicks, no less, then someone made a mistake. Either the coach is wrong for not playing him, or the front office screwed up by trading for him. And after the Lakers won on Saturday, certainly no one is questioning Frank Vogel's logic. The Lakers can hide behind the cavalcade of injuries that have been the drumbeat to the season, but there is no hiding from the fact that trading for Russell Westbrook has not just failed to make the Lakers contenders, but his presence has limited their potential of getting there. Now, I don't think anyone is disputing that fact. The fact that the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook definitely contributed to their decline. So what do you do in this instance? Well, what sucks is there's not much the Lakers could do. I mean, all they could do is really sit back and hope that a player like Eric Bledsoe or Eric Gordon becomes available on the buyout market, and there isn't anything else that really could be done at this point because the Russell Westbrook trade was clearly a mistake. I like the fact that Frank Vogel acknowledges that, hey, we need to bring Russell Westbrook off the bench sometimes, or we need to bench him altogether in these situations, because at this point the Lakers have had a long enough sample size to determine that the Russell Westbrook trade has been an absolute failure. And I think they've tanked his value so much so that I don't even think you could trade him to a different team for assets. If you pair a star player with two other star players, especially one considering to be the greatest player of this generation and another considered to be a versatile big man, and he can't make it work with those two players, and he wasn't able to make it work with Paul George or Kevin Durant or James Harden or a slightly past his prime Carmelo Anthony, then chances are some teams are going to begin to think that player was the problem. And I hate saying this because I love Russell Westbrook. He went to my alma mater and I will always support him. I hope he could figure it out somehow, some way, but the issue is he's kind of a dinosaur in today's league in terms of contributing to a championship contender. If you want him to just fill up the stat sheet, then that's fantastic. Trade him to a team that would be a lottery team that is desperate to sell tickets, and you might be able to watch him fill up the stat sheet for the rest of his career, and hell, it would be very entertaining. But in terms of trying to win a championship, the only way I could see Russell Westbrook contributing to a championship contender is as the sixth man off of the bench. Any player that's a sub 30% shooter from three and plays the guard position is a bit of a liability in today's NBA. And I don't think the fact that he's playing in Los Angeles, who have crazy high expectations, is helping him out either. This situation not only made the Lakers more top heavy, but the Lakers are significantly better as a basketball team with just LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I mean, Russell Westbrook is holding this team back from fulfilling their potential, and we can see that from the stats that are offered as well. Currently, if you look at his statistics, Russell Westbrook has a negative 0.7 offensive box plus minus and a negative 0.6 defensive box plus minus for a negative 1.3 box plus minus in total. He's contributing negative 0.4 offensive win shares, although he is contributing 2 defensive win shares, and is shooting 30% from 3 this year. At this point, the Lakers don't really have much of a choice than to bring him off of the bench because no one's going to trade for him, but hey, the trade deadline's 2 days away and maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.